Alright guys, we're back. I'm pretty pumped up right now. As you can tell from the title of this video, we just got a new bike. So right now it's Monday. I picked up this bike on Friday. So as you can tell by the title of this video, here's our new Hayabusa. This is a 2006 Suzuki Hayabusa, 3,700 original miles. And it's got a little surprise right here under the fairings. A little bit hard to say. And it really is a sleeper with the full exhaust, but so I saw the ad on Facebook Marketplace. It was posted for $8,000. I ended up, they ended up actually reducing the price already to $6,500. So I DM'd the person. I'm like, would you take $5,500 if I show up with a truck today? And he's like, you know what? Took him a couple hours to respond. He's like, yes, honestly, I'll do $5,500. Just come get it. So I ended up making the 4-hour drive. It was supposed to be 2 hours, 40 minutes, but it ended up being 4 hours just from traffic, accidents, delays. Delays left and right, every which way. But we ended up getting there, and the bike's a little rougher than I thought. You know, the chrome's peeled up in a few spots. You can tell, like along the swing arm here. You can see, especially right there, the chrome's starting to pit in a few spots. The person that dropped it, there's like scuffs on the fairings, especially down here. It's pretty rough down there. You know, the seat's ripped. That was shown in the pictures, but like even this brake reservoir cap and a lot of other parts were peeling out, including the wheels. Just a lot of stuff. So the bike was a lot rougher than I thought. He starts it up and it has a vacuum leak too, so I'm like, shit, okay. You know, the thing's gonna need a little work too. I'm negotiating down. I'm just sitting there thinking, and I'm telling him all this stuff too. I'm like, hey man, you know, it's got a vacuum leak. It's a lot rougher than I thought. I was like, man, I'll do $4,500. And we both just sat there a minute, like a minute of silence. And then he's like, you know what? I'll do $4,500. I'm not losing any money. He wanted to hold out, but he also didn't want to risk like not selling it right there. So we ended up agreeing on $4,500, loaded in the truck, 4 hours back, hit like traffic every step of the way. Ended up trying to take faster paths back that ended up just like hitting more traffic. Every time I'd take a shorter route, there'd just be another accident. So, but yeah, we got it home, and right away I just started tearing it apart. So we went ahead, we popped the gas tank up. I wish I had more photos and videos of this stuff. I really should have documented more of it, but we just started tearing it all apart. I pulled the fairings off, did an oil change to it. We cleaned out the air filter. While I was at it, I went ahead and trimmed up this bottom fairing here. It was getting melted by the exhaust cut. The full exhaust, you could see right before it didn't have a cutout, and it was actually melted around the plastic was just melted around the exhaust. So I just trimmed all that up, so I'm not breathing in toxic plastic smoke the whole time. No leaks on this bike though. Started right up. Doesn't overheat or anything. He liked the bike. Got her all filled up. First time filling her up. Hope she takes pump gas. I really don't know. Bike cruise is pretty good. Other than this right handlebar being a little bent in, this thing runs pretty damn good. Went through it all, did a fresh oil change. Went through all the wiring, all that sorted. I think it's a little lean down low in the RPM range. Like idle, it's even a little lean, and then as soon as you rev it off idle to like 2,500, 3,000 RPM, it's a little bit lean too. But then it smoothens right out. So we'll have to touch it up a little bit. Boom. And like 3,500, 4,000 just picks right up, smooth. Let's use that air shifter. Might be a little low on air pressure. You can fill it up. warmed up now. I'll just whack the throttle a little bit so you guys can hear this wastegate. Man, it picks right up too. I don't have my air fuel gauge in yet, so we're not going to go too crazy, but pulls right away too. I wish I knew more about this engine. I don't know if the engine's built. Well, actually I know that the engine's built, but I don't know what it's built with. I don't know if it's bored out. I don't know anything really. Like I said, I'm hesitant to really go crazy until I get that air fuel gauge in. Then we can just do some onboard tuning. It's got a Power Commander 3 in it. USB, fully programmable. It's an old school unit though. We should be able to tune it good enough even with that though. Shouldn't be any problem. I mean, they were tuning them back in the day with that, so it just needs a little more fuel down low. Everything else is just perfect though. Just roast the tire off. Sounds good though. Oh shit. Yeah, that's really why we need some tires in. I can't even really tune it until I get the tires in. I really do like this riding position. I didn't release that TL1000 video yet, but I got a video of me riding that, and this is actually a way more comfortable riding position. The TL1000 is more of a sport bike riding position. It has a little more rake than I'd say the Busa does. I might be wrong on that. I don't have the stats in front of me, but just based on like seat feel, I would say the TL had a little more rake, but it was more of a stretch and it was harder. You were more bent over. On this, I'd say you're less bent over, a little less of a rake though. It's a comfortable ride. It really is. I do like this bike. It's a good cruising bike. I could ride this hours on end, especially with the aftermarket seat it has on it. This has like a Tempur-Pedic or gel seat in it, and it just feels really good. You could ride it all day long. It needs to be reupholstered, but I'm hesitant to get in this left lane because it's less dry. Yeah, fuck it. We'll just go over. We'll stay in the slow lane. We don't care. Transmission shifts really good. It said in the ad that it had aftermarket pistons in it, had turbo pistons, aftermarket rods. The transmission was undercut, completely undercut, maybe polished, he said, as well, and it had an upgraded input shaft into the transmission as well. Had a Muzzy clutch upgrade. I mean, the engine's just fully built. It just has a stage 1, I believe, Han Racing turbo kit. You can see I got the Han boost gauge down there. I've never had a Han kit. Back in the day, they were decent, kind of at best. I think the best kits that Han came out with were the ones that they did with RB Racing. because I know they did BMW kits and things like that too. Yeah, this thing really just struggles at like 2,500. We'll play with the tuning a little bit more and just add fuel down in that area, see what happens. If it's not that, it could be some kind of vacuum leak too. I went over the vacuum lines, so I really don't think it's that. And the vacuum's pretty consistent. This gauge really isn't the best to tell. This gauge really isn't that great, to be honest. Like, it reads all over the place, and that, again, that could actually be because I have a vacuum leak, but I feel like it'd be a little more inconsistent than it is. It's very smoothly, has a smooth wobble to it. But then I turn it off, or I flip this switch, and it goes back to 0. I believe this is like a telltale boost gauge, just to see how much boost I hit, but I'm not certain on that either. This is really my first ride with the bike. I got it, it had 3,750 miles on it. It's got 3,764 now. Man, it just sounds nutty though. We'll whack it again. Man. Oh, dude.